Hi, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. It's Friday afternoon, which means another weekly crypto roundup video. And before we jump into the stories, just want to have a quick glance at the markets. It's going to be slightly different today, so I've only got 3 quick stories to run over, and then I'm going to go over some internal news. So some of the stuff that I've been doing here and have planned for the next few weeks, and some of the stuff I've been doing over the last few weeks. It was always my intention when I did these update videos to do basically external news and then all my own internal news as well, and I've kind of stopped doing that. I've concentrated basically on external stories, so I will be doing a few quick stories this week, and then I'll be going over some of my own news. But let's start with the markets, and as you can see here, market cap currently around the 280 billion mark. That's down massively on last week. I think we're around the 340 billion when I did this video last week. Bitcoin dominance up, basically just touching the 40% again, and we often see this. So as the market cap goes down, Bitcoin dominance goes up, and vice versa, and that's because Bitcoin tends to move slower than many of the altcoins. So when things go down, the altcoins tend to go down more, and when things are going up again, altcoins tend to go up more than kind of Bitcoin. So that's the general trend. So when Bitcoin dominance is up, generally the market cap is down a bit, and we've seen this same trend. So basically we hit this real low day and a half 2 days ago. We saw a slight green day yesterday when we had a little bit of a sort of kind of pull back from this kind of real low, and then today's been relatively flat. We're seeing some slight tails off across many coins, but over the last 24 hours fairly kind of flat. So this may be the bottom, it may not be. If you follow technical analysis channels, and you know, I tend to be quite frustrated with technical analysis because a bit like economics, they're very good at sort of showing you a chart and telling you what why something happened, but they're not much good at telling you what will happen next, which is the whole point really of technical analysis, whole point of economics. It's very easy to say, oh, well, this is why we had a financial crisis, but you wanted these people to be pointing this out before it actually happens. It's the same with technical analysis. If everything's kind of moving flat and sideways, it's easy to say, oh, we're going to have a breakout, but what people want to know is, you know, which way it's going to break out. And this is where I think technical analysis kind of falls down pretty comprehensively. So similar trends across really the top 20 coins. We've seen a little bit of an outlier here in Ethereum Classic. So we had this big spike up a few days ago because Ethereum Classic, it was announced that it's going to be on Coinbase. So I think it'll be their 5th coin on Coinbase. It's obviously Coinbase is the first way into cryptocurrencies for many people, putting fiat in. And at the moment you can only buy, I think it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin and Ethereum. So people are often sort of talking about which will be the next kind of coins on Coinbase. I personally didn't think it would be Ethereum Classic by any stretch of the imagination, but congratulations to them. Something just fell over behind my desk, sorry about that. Congratulations to them, you know, that's been some really good news for them. But I don't want to kind of go too much about the kind of markets. I prefer to kind of move on to some stories this week. So let's jump over to the first story. And another Coinbase one. So this is a story I touched on a few months ago, and it's basically the Coinbase index fund. So it's now open for investment, and as I mentioned in the previous story when this was announced a month or 2 ago, it's not for all institutional investors. So it's only open for people looking to invest $250,000 to 20 million, and it basically is a weighted fund of the coins that are available on Coinbase. So at the time it was Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum and Litecoin. Obviously Ethereum Classic will now be put into the kind of mix, and the portfolio will be rebalanced. And I believe as they add new coins into Coinbase, the portfolio will continue to be rebalanced in the future. But this is really good news because this is money that's actually going directly into cryptocurrency. So this is coins that they will be holding. The money that's going in will be actually purchasing coins rather than just some of the kind of financial things we've seen, which is just speculation on price. So yeah, really good news that I think for adoption. Nice to see institutional investors, and these are obviously individuals with, you know, fairly large amounts of money. So I think, you know, getting them into a what is fundamentally an index fund but of cryptocurrency is really a nice thing. So let's jump over to the next story, and this is Overstock, and US company, and Overstock, real early adopter with cryptocurrencies. Whilst much of business was criticizing cryptocurrency, calling it, you know, kind of either irrelevant or a scam or whatever, Overstock have been accepting cryptocurrencies for their products for several years now, and there's news this week, a couple of days ago, that they are doing $120,000 a week in cryptocurrency revenue. So that's people buying with cryptocurrency, so well over $100,000 a week, which I think is possibly quite surprising to some people. Their stock has surged 11% on the back of that. I don't know if that was purely on the back of this particular news, but they've always been quite bullish on cryptocurrencies. I believe that they are holding a lot of the cryptocurrencies they take in, they're not converting immediately to dollars. I may be corrected, but I remember an interview maybe a year or two ago when it seemed that they were kind of holding, they were bullish on the long-term kind of future and were holding a chunk of kind of cryptocurrency. But it's really nice to see a business, utilizing kind of cryptocurrencies. They really like it. They say from their point of view, it's a lot better than credit cards. You don't get fraudulent chargebacks and all these, stolen credit cards and stuff like that. So yeah, really nice kind of news and good for adoption. Something I kind of touched on last week when I talked about the Visa network going down, but cryptocurrencies work really well, I think, for kind of e-commerce, because if you're going online, you're buying something that you hope is going to be delivered the next day or dispatched the next day or in the next couple of days. A coin that takes 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes to validate makes no difference. If you're going into a shop and you're paying with a contactless card, it needs to be instantaneous or within a kind of second or two. But if you're buying online, there's no reason why, even something as slow as kind of traditionally slow as Bitcoin. And I think particularly with the Lightning Network, speeding these things up. But most cryptocurrencies, whether it's kind of Litecoin or Ethereum, you've got stuff like kind of Digibyte, a lot quicker than kind of Bitcoin. And there's no reason why these can't be used for e-commerce stores. So I think this could potentially, from an end user kind of point of view and from a commerce point of view, could be the next big kind of push, really. So it's, people that are selling stuff online, there's no reason why cryptocurrencies can't be tied into their kind of payment back ends and can just kind of, instead of getting an immediate approval email from a store when you buy with a credit card, you might get one in 2 minutes or 3 minutes once it's processed and being validated by blockchain. So I think that could be really big step going forward in terms of kind of like adoption of kind of cryptocurrencies in terms of kind of buying things. So well done to Overstock. We don't have Overstock here in the UK. I think you can buy internationally, but it doesn't really make any sense to do so. I also believe that you can only buy through cryptocurrency if you're based in the US. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe if you are in the US, you can enlighten me on that. But let's jump over to the next story. And this is really big news. So this was basically the SEC the SEC's main guy has come out and said that Bitcoin, which I don't think anybody thought was a security, but Ethereum as well, is not a security. They're saying that, some initial coin offerings may be, but Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular are not securities. And it really kind of comes down to, if you read some of the reports, it seems to be coming down to the decentralized nature of these kind of platforms. So some ICOs could be securities. They seem to be quite open to kind of like, discussing these things. If people have kind of questions, they can go to them and sort of kind of talk these through, and they'll kind of like, come up with reasons why they think things are or aren't. But it really positive news. So a lot of people have been saying, will Ethereum be classed as a security? And that could have obviously big knock-on effects in terms of kind of price and adoption and stuff like that. So the fact that it's been declared not an Ethereum, well, certainly the SEC's main guy coming out and saying it's not a security, I think is really positive. And no doubt we'll start seeing these same rulings or the same information come out with the same kind of reasoning for lots of other kind of cryptocurrencies. But it's well worth having a read through this kind of article. As I said here, decentralization was the kind of key point on it not being classed a security. But anyway, that's it for the external stories this week. As I said, a little bit quicker, but I just want to run over some of the bits I've been doing internally. And those of you who watched last week's video will know that I'm giving away Burstcoin this week. And Burstcoin recently had a hard fork, so if you had plotted your hard drives before the hard fork, you needed to replot them. Now, you can convert the plots from the old version to the new version. There's software out there to do it. What I decided to do, and I'm kind of regretting it a little bit now, is that when I first started Burstcoin mining about a year ago, maybe over a year ago now, I started with just like a load of sort of missized, or not missized, but different sized old hard drives. I put some of them internally in kind of case. I had some small external drives, and then I went out and bought a load of 5 terabyte Seagate ones, which are all kind of standard. I think I've got 7 or 8 of those on my Burstcoin mining machine now. But when I started plotting, I had plots of all different sizes. Even the first kind of large drives, they were all plotted slightly different. So what I thought I would do is take the opportunity to just delete everything and replot everything from scratch in a more kind of tidy kind of format, I suppose, in a way. I'd also had a couple of failed drives. Some of the early drives that I used had failed and had been removed, so there were kind of like, you know, there were sort of gaps within the kind of plotting and stuff like that. So I thought I'll start again from scratch. So I've been using the Turbo Plotter 9000. All the drives I'm plotting now are Seagate USB 3 external drives, but it is taking an absolute age. I kind of forgot in a way quite how long it would take to plot some of these things. I've been using yeah, the Turbo Plotter 9000, but my first 5 terabyte drive, which is going to take about another day to complete plotting, has taken probably 5 or 6 days. So you're looking at maybe about a week to plot a single 5 terabyte drive. So I think I've got, as I said, another 7 drives to go after this one, 6 or 7 drives to go after this one. So it's going to be at least another month, maybe another month and a half till I get them all completed. I'm sure once it's completed, I'll be quite happy that they're all kind of like nice and standardized. But at the moment, I'm kind of regretting a little bit replotting everything from scratch. So if you are in this kind of position and you are thinking of what to do, I would probably recommend just doing the conversion from the sort of initial kind of plot, so the POC 1 to proof of capacity 2. Another story I just want to touch on briefly is I set up another Masternode, so I'll go over this in a bit more detail on Monday morning with my staking and Masternodes update video. But I set up an Akroma Masternode yesterday, received its first payout today. I believe they're daily payouts. So it's a really interesting project. I came across it from Leon I Mine Blocks. He was talking about mining, so it's available to mine on Akroma, and I set up my desktop machine. It's just a single 1080 Ti a week or so ago, and I did some solo mining. I hit a few kind of blocks and got some coins, and then as a network difficulty increased, I stopped hitting kind of block solo mining, so I stopped mining it. But I was quite interested in the project, so I did a bit more reading up, and then yesterday I went out and bought the 5,000 coins that you need for this particular Masternode, set up the Masternode on a Vulture server. So I'll run over that a bit more detail on my staking and Masternodes update video on Monday, but that seems to be running really nicely. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is the Golem network. So I did a video on setting up the software when it first came out a couple of months ago. There's a more recent version now, a 0.16.0. It was a 15.1 before, but the new version has come out. I upgraded that a couple of weeks ago, and I'm getting a lot more jobs now than I was before. This is my machine here. You can see Crypto Dave. I've also received like a load more errors than I did before. Now this machine I have rebooted a few times for various other kind of functions, and I had some network issues a couple of days ago as well, so I don't know if that's added to the kind of error count, but I have been receiving a load more jobs. I want to do an update video about it, sort of running over whether maybe it's worth setting up, whether it's profitable, stuff like that. The only error, the only reason I didn't do that this week was because I did a load when I first upgraded to version 0.16.0. I got a load of jobs, so I think it was between the 27th of May and sort of the 4th of June, I had loads of jobs in, but they are still all awaiting payments. And then I rebooted the software. I started getting new jobs again. I think it was on the 7th of June, and up until kind of yesterday. So everything for the next sort of week or so has been paid, but I have this kind of like period in the middle where I think it was 40 plus jobs, so a lot of jobs and quite a lot of coins worth. Some of them were very small, but some of them were large, multiple coins, like 3-4 coins per job. And they're all awaiting payment, so it almost seems as if the payments are kind of stuck. I know, looking at the Reddit, the Golem project subreddit, that some people have had stuff that it seems to sort of like just not be paid. I understand that the payments aren't immediate; they are grouped up and done in kind of bulk payments to minimize kind of fees, I think, and kind of transactions on the Ethereum network. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So I really wanted to wait and see if those payments came through before I did an update video, because it will give me a far better idea about potential rewards and stuff like that. And yeah, I've received like a load more jobs in the last kind of couple of days that are still out, you know, still awaiting. But you expect to wait maybe a day or two for some jobs. Often when I get a job, it completes and I get paid within a few hours. So it does seem weird that I have like a load of jobs. And as I said, it's about 40 plus between the 27th and the 4th of June that are all just sat there and not doing anything. And I've had jobs subsequently which have been paid. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I believe all jobs are supposed to be paid out within 30 days. If they're not, you can actually send the details or your database files to the core team, and they will have a look into it for you. So If they get paid out, I'll do an update video this week. If not, I will leave it another week or so until I reach that 30-day period, at which point I'll contact them and then I will come back to you all with an update on what they say. But anyway, that's it for this week. Let's jump over and do the giveaway. And this was last week's video. Now, only 4 commenters last week, and the amount of people who are posting their wallet addresses for the kind of giveaways seems to be decreasing each week. So I think I'm going to probably stop the giveaways for now. I'll do this week's giveaway, but I won't be doing one next week. What I'll do is maybe try and come up with a slightly different kind of process. Maybe I'll do a monthly kind of giveaway that's a bit bigger. Gives people longer to kind of like put their kind of like wallet addresses and stuff like that. But anyway, this is it for the last one of the weekly giveaways for now. Let me just click start and we'll pick a random winner. And it is so I've just had to re-record this last bit of the video. The sound all went a bit kind of crazy. I just left that on so you could see that I was making the payment. So that should be with you now, Darren. Congratulations again. As I said, no giveaway next week. I'll come up with a better way of doing kind of giveaways. Maybe I'll do it when I reach certain targets on the channel, stuff for that. Something I should have said earlier and I forgot to, or should have said last week, was thanks very much for all my subscribers. I reached 3,000 subscribers, I think it was last week. I think I'm about 3,100 odd at the moment. So thanks to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. Thanks to everybody who has commented over the last kind of few weeks or given me a thumbs up or anything like that. As always, leave me comments below. Let me know if there's stuff you want me to kind of cover. I'm receiving quite a lot of messages as well as kind of comments, and I have tried to get back to people, but some people have some really good suggestions about what they'd like to see on the channel. If you do have any suggestions, please feel free to reach out to me, put them in a comment or a message below, or you can get me at cryptodaveuk@gmail.com. So I just set up that email address a couple of days ago for crypto related inquiries. But thanks for watching. Congratulations again, Darren. Hopefully I will see you all on the next video. Have a great weekend and thanks again for watching. Bye bye.